2012. Patient KR presented to respondent for left eye surgery. Prior to the procedure, respondent verified the left eye was the correct.
Did you swear in the witness? I do.
I'm sorry?
I'm doing it the way I do it. I did it the Christian way and the Muslim way. Thank you. Now the department may proceed.
Thank you. My name is TJ Morton. Before you for your consideration by a motion for final order and hearing not involving disputed issues of material fact. This case number 2011-06306, Department of Health versus Mohamed Saleh, MD. The administrative complaint in this case alleges that the respondent pleaded guilty in Nevada to the crime of conspiracy to commit unlawful dispensing of controlled substances, a gross misdemeanor, and a crime related to the practice of medicine or to the ability to practice medicine. Respondent failed to timely update his profile to disclose the conviction and failed to report the conviction to the board or department in writing within 30 days. Circumstances of this case are: on October 17, 2011, respondent was charged with conspiracy to commit unlawful dispensing of controlled substances related to respondent's prescribing of controlled substances without a valid controlled substance license issued by the state of Nevada. On October 25, 2011, respondent pled guilty to conspiracy to commit unlawful dispensing of controlled substances. The crime to which respondent pled guilty is related to the practice of medicine, and respondent failed to report the guilty plea and conviction to the department and failed to update his practitioner profile. Respondent was served with a copy of the administrative complaint and filed an election of rights requesting a hearing not involving disputed issues of material fact. Therefore, we are here for an informal hearing as requested. The department would now like to present this case as an informal hearing before the board. May I proceed?
Please.
The department offers the investigative report with exhibits, a copy of which have been previously furnished to the board and to evidence to establish a prima facie case for the violations alleged in the administrative complaint, and asks that it be admitted into evidence.
Second. Any discussion here? And none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
At this time, the department asks that the chair entertain a motion adopting the allegations of fact in the administrative complaint as the findings of fact of the board, and that these findings of fact support a finding of violations of Florida statutes as charged in the administrative complaint, and finding that respondent is in violation of Florida statutes as charged in the administrative complaint.
So moved.
The motion would just be to accept the findings of fact as set forth in the administrative complaint.
I'm sorry. Should I do it again, or is it?
So we need a motion to accept the findings of facts as set forth in the administrative complaint.
Yeah.
We have motion seconded. Any discussion here? And none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Please proceed.
At this time, it's appropriate for the respondent to address the board concerning penalty and any mitigation.
Doctor, would you like to?
Listen, I will speak very slowly because I have an accent and I never ever dispensed medications in Nevada. I prescribed, I submitted a booklet. It took me a month to prepare it today. Beside the information that you have, there is some additional information. If you see the arrest report, it says prescribing. I never dispensed medication. You know, the arrest report is not consistent with the final court disposition. And I would like to urge this board to review the documentation that I provided today and consider a lesser penalty. The disposition of the court, the foundation of the court disposition is the arrest report, right? Nowhere in the arrest report, by the way, I was in a disciplinary hearing with the Board of Pharmacy for prescribing without a Nevada number. Nowhere it states that I was dispensing, and it's my opinion that they tack on the dispensing because they did not want to pursue charges against the pharmacies. If you read the arrest report, you can see it. Yes, I applied for a registration number. Immediately after receiving my Nevada license, I was told or I read that I had to apply for a registration with the Board of Pharmacy, and I did. I don't know whether the Board of Pharmacy sent me a registration number or did not send me, or I've been in the middle of a very very highly contested divorce for the last 3 years. And I don't know, a practice needs a doctor and an administrative staff. Ultimately, it is my responsibility to make sure that the licensing and everything is done right. It's my responsibility, but I rely on my staff and my administrator. Somehow I felt that the application that I filed with the Board of Pharmacy was just to let the Board of Pharmacy know that there was a new doctor in town. And incidentally, the district attorney initially dismissed the charges because I had a valid Florida DA number and a federal DA number, I guess, and it was, no patient was harmed, and it was more of a bureaucratic, technical issue, you know, about giving to Caesar what belongs to Caesar, I guess, you know, paying the $513 for the...
You know, doctor, we have all those records. There's no reason to retry the case. We are not here to retry the case.
Yes.
I think Mr. Talchi has a question.
Dr. Saleh, let me ask you a couple of questions.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, here in the administrative complaint, it alleges that you pled on October 25th, 2011, you pled guilty in the state of Nevada to a crime of conspiracy to commit unlawful dispensing of controlled substance. Is that correct? Do you agree with that?
I pled guilty to prescribing, sir.
No, I have here in the administrative complaint, it says, you pled guilty to the crime of conspiracy to commit unlawful dispensing of controlled substances in the state of Nevada. Do you agree, do you admit to that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and then on October 21st of 2011, you were convicted of the crime of conspiracy to commit unlawful dispensing of controlled substances.
I pled guilty to misdemeanor because I wanted to avoid being stuck in Nevada for 6 months.
I understand. I just want to make sure we're in the proper posture today. So you don't dispute those two facts, am I correct?
No, well, I dispute the dispensing because it never happened.
Right, we're not going to get us to the underlying incident. I just want to make sure that you do not dispute the criminal, plea and the conviction.
Yes, a misdemeanor is. And my license was not renewed on January 31st, and I haven't been able to see a patient since February 1st.
Okay.
And,
Okay, doctor, the board members have any questions? Okay, now the department may proceed.
As to the penalty, the department recommends the following: a reprimand.
No, we need to vote on
Oh, I'm sorry.
the conclusions of law. We need a motion from the board that the facts as alleged constitute a crime as set forth, constitutes a violation as set forth in the conclusions of law as set forth in the administrative complaint.
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any may oppose, motion carries. Thank you. Now the department penalty.
As to the penalty, the department recommends the following: a reprimand, administrative fine of $5,000, costs pursuant to the motion to assess costs, and 1 year of probation related to respondent's prescribing practices, along with a reservation of, just 1 year of probation related to the respondent's prescribing practices.
Terms of probation?
I think it would entail review of the prescribing of controlled substances to ensure that he complies with all the rules.
Is it direct, indirect supervision, or?
I think it would be
We can get a motion from the
If I
board.
may, triplicate prescriptions, indirect supervision, and reporting to the board on a monthly basis, all the prescriptions.
You said direct?
Indirect.
Indirect. Okay.
I'll second that.
First of answer.
Well, I'll give you a chance to talk about the mitigating circumstances. So do you have a motion now?
So I'm just going to write triplicate prescription, indirect supervision. What's the rest?
And then bring the prescriptions to the board on a monthly basis, or reporting to the board, to the
Do you want
probation.
quarterly reports?
Quarterly
Not
reports.
Actually, 3 times.
Correct. Triplicate, they just hand them in every month, correct?
It's reporting every 3 months from
Okay.
the,
We can do it monthly or every 3 months, it doesn't make.
no, it doesn't make any sense. They only come to probation 3 times a year. So triannual reports?
Triannual reports.
Do you want any chart reviews?
25% chart review.
Okay.
Fine, laws. Fine, laws, reprimand.
We're actually going along with the reprimand, administrative fine 5,000. Costs as stated.
We'll deal with the cost separately.
Yep.
So I have a motion for reprimand, $5,000 fine, 1-year probation with triple good prescriptions, indirect supervision, triannual reports, and 25% chart review.
Second.
And I think it's also you keep jurisdiction, that was in the,
Well, this is a probation, so you don't need to reserve jurisdiction. You're
Well,
fine.
we have a motion and seconded on the floor. Doctor, we're going to pass a motion right now. If you'd like to address on any mitigating circumstances,
Yes.
but please make it brief
Yes,
and to
sir,
the
yes,
point.
sir. I've never been in trouble before. This is the first time I come here. I've been licensed since 1984. This is the very first time I come in front of this board. You know, I'm very meticulous. It just happened. You know, I'm in the middle of a very vicious contested divorce, and there is 248 motions and hearings have been filed on the divorce. And unless you've been through an adversarial divorce, it's difficult to understand how much it drains you. And so I'd like, I'm pleading for some leniency.
No, thanks. Bridget?
Doctor, I think it's important, though, a divorce or not, that you do follow the laws. And having a DEA license before you prescribe is pretty important. So I encourage you to continue to follow laws. I think this is very fair. The only question I do have is it was proposed in our documentation here that all of these be paid the $5,000 fine and the cost within 30 days. And we did not share that with them, or do we want to allow some more time?
Well, we have a motion on the floor, seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, motion carries.
We have a motion for cost.
I guess I don't have. Bear with me one moment. At this time, the department asks that the chair entertain a motion to assess costs. With regard to the department's motion to assess costs, the department requests that the board adopt the costs in the amount of $600.31.
Move to assess costs as stated.
Hold on, just give him an opportunity to respond to that. You want to respond to the motion for costs?
Well, they didn't renew my license. I will do what I can, sir. But I cannot generate any income. Can you postpone the payment until I have my license back and I can generate income?
Mr. Chairman, I think he can take one of those cards and talk to the probation committee and establish a payment plan. That's what we normally do unless this board want to take an action now.
I was going to suggest 90 days, and if he needs more than that, to go to probation committee.
I'm sorry?
I suggest 90 days, and if he needs more than that, to go to the
You're
committee.
making a motion, then I'll second it.
Yes, sir, that's a motion.
Change it 30 days into 90 days.
90 days for costs and for the fine.
Okay, I second that.
Yeah, we have motion on the floor, seconded to pay 90 days, otherwise go to the probationers committee.
Okay. I'll
Hearing no
second.
discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, motion carries. Thank you very much, Doctor. Now let's go on to petition for declaratory statement, tab 60, Ralph Christopher Bell. Is Mr. Bell here?
Yes, I'm getting there right now. You have a petition for a declaratory statement on tab 60 of your agenda for Richard Christopher Bell. Mr. Bell, as I understand, is a radiologist assistant. And basically, he's asking for a declaratory statement that is based on